What's going on, Panther family? It's the Bambi-eyed Panther Casper, and I got for you a brand new album review of Moor Mother, Billy Woods Brass. Now this album right here, you may not enjoy as much as me. Or you might, if you've dipped your toes into the abstract, the jazz rap, the experimental rap, political rap. This may be for you. If you haven't, well, maybe not. But I'm not going to count you out. You might want to broaden your horizons here. This might be something that interests you. It might be refreshing to you. So you may love this thing, or you may hate this thing. And if you do, that's fine. But I love this thing. This thing right here is just a very grim, dystopian, poetic view on societal ills of the world, such as xenophobia, such as systematic racism, such as like just oppression, gang life. Like, granted, I, as a white male, cannot relate to that physically. However, I do appreciate the poetic and the authoritative view on it, the stance on it, the expression of it, because it's done in such a way that's like so poetic, especially from Moor Mother, who is absolutely just unapologetically like gloomy and just in your face and brash and menacing, and just like she just brings a feel like with her poetic lyrics, and she delivers them in such a creative way, such a very abstract way. And then you got Billy Woods, who is also a star, do not get me wrong, but I feel his is more disheartened. His is more pretty much straightforward. Not as cryptic as his other material, such as you'd find on an Arm & Hammer, which he is cryptic on that. But I do feel there's a nice change of pace, and I do feel not only is the complement of each other there, but the contrast is there. They both bring something different to the table, and I do feel that should be acknowledged. And let's get into the production, because you know I love production. That is the thing. It's the production, it's the songwriting, which is very focused here. Very focused, very graphic, very grim. Like, this right here sounds like the instrumentals came from a psychedelic, dystopian, apocalyptic setting into the deepest jungle they could find. And they've brought it here. They've pretty much brought that sound here with the very fragmented bits of jazz and just this colorful but yet still grim approach to the instrumental side. And the lyrics too are just so harrowing, so expressive, so poetic. And I do love that. I do love that. And it's not all gloom and doom. I mean, sure, with the sonic approach here, it is. But you also have moments of neo-soul with the track Everything This Country Forgot, which is a very alluring, very intoxicating feel sonically, while conceptually it's giving you this just unapologetic display of systematic racism and societal ills and oppression. And also, the track... Hold on, this is raw, people. This is raw. I'm going off my notes here. So, yeah, I was doing pretty well. And, you know, this gives a video character. Because you want to give a video character. And, sometimes being unprofessional is characteristic. Don't let them tell you otherwise. The song Scary Hour. Why do I keep forgetting Scary Hour? But anyway, Scary Hour. Very orchestral, very grim, and just harrowing visions of kids in cages and like xenophobia, people dying left and right, bodies being piled from this deadly pandemic, and just it's just a very, very grim and thematic and just expressive moment on the album. And the vocals from John Forte are very, very expressive, very bold, and I do feel it complements the track nicely as well. It does have its shortcomings. This album does have its shortcomings, whether it be on Rapunzal, where the instrumental is not as strong as I would have hoped. The song structure on Rock Cried isn't as solid as I would have liked. However, the songwriting and song structure on this album is very unique. There's barely any hooks on here. However, it does stick to the narrative. It does stick to the narrative. It does stick to the point. And I do appreciate that. And it's done in such a way where there's so much intricacy and creativity to it. You know? And I do feel this album has a lot of highlights. I do feel that this album right here is something I could return to many times and still pull something from it. Because you know I love shit like that. You know I love albums where I could go back and pick something different every time I hear it. And this album does that. So, with this album right here, I really enjoyed this. I would give this 4.5 stars. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you have, great. If you haven't, that makes me sad. But how many stars would you give it? Would you give it 5 stars? 4.5 stars? 4 stars? 3 stars? 2 stars? 1 star? No stars? It's disheartening if you did, but I want to know why. Until then, this has been Brass, Billy Woods, Moor Mother, and the Panther will return.